Ardmore owning a 7-point lead going to the fourth quarter. Steve Marshall.
Thank you very much, Jason Turk. He does not want to pull the ball out. He does not want to run clock. He said you get an open three, you take it, D up, and everybody said block out and let's go get it. Matt Clark, how about you?
Hey, Coach Harrison said, hey guys, what we basically have to do is we got to play good defense, we got to get some turnovers, and hey, be patient, let's get some good shots in the paint. Back to you, Don.
Well, that's my question. You haven't seen many points in the paint, and Harris winds it up. Fortunately for Washington, Mark Brown's there to clean it up, and the Hornets are within 5 to start the fourth quarter.
You know, I really like what Jason Turk told his kids. You know, continue to play like you're playing, as Steve Marshall reported, and don't change anything. Just get some more energy.
There's the steal they were looking for. Beecham from Seals. And it's a 3-point game, and there's another turnover. Brown. Look at Harris fight hard inside. You can feel the intensity of Washington to start the fourth, can't you?
Yeah, and I'm sure Jason Turk's wanting a timeout here. He wants to get his kids together, settle them down, not let something happen very quickly.
Let's go over to Steve.
Thank you very much. Each time, if you remember the monster dunk that Meacham had early, Turk was practically at the scorer's table. He does not want to let Booker T get any momentum whatsoever. So as soon as they got that turnover basket, again, he was out trying to get the timeout, but he couldn't get it until they turned it over again.
Good point, Steve, because really, as far as I'm concerned, JB, Jason Turk has controlled this game to this point.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The Ardmore Tigers have put the defensive pressure, I mean, on 95 feet. They've put it from baseline to baseline and have controlled it. And then offensively, they've been able to spread the Washington defense apart and pick them in the middle. They really have come into this game, I think, with a tremendous game plan and have executed it 3 quarters.
Only 2 timeouts remaining for Ardmore. Matt Clark.
Hey guys, Coach Harris just said, hey, take your time. We have plenty of time. Don't be in a hurry. Take good shots, and hey, keep the pressure up. Back to you, Don.
All right, thank you very much. We talked about Nate Harris and a 26-0 record, 18-0 against state-ranked teams this year, and a winning margin of 13. Ardmore shouldn't be ashamed of their 26-1 record, 12-0 against state-ranked teams, and an offensive foul on Mark Brown. That'll be his 3rd. Leading scorers for Ardmore, and it is very impressive with their 4 starters. Only 4 to score. They are led by Lionel Brown with 19, 14 for Ryan Godwin, 14 for Swindoll, and 13 for Kemp. This is Lionel Brown out front with 4 threes. Off to Zelto Anderson. He has 2 points. So there have been 5 Tigers to score, but 4 of them have done the dominant work. Meanwhile, for Washington, they have 4 players in, or actually 5 in double figures. So nobody has really taken over this game. When it gets this way, Levi Harris can do it, and so can this guy, Godwin.
But that's been Levi Harris' marquee all through the year, that he can take over a game right in the end.
Cheney using his 6'8" frame to his advantage. Washington on the run, and Seals gets blasted underneath by Wallace Kent.
You know, it looked like maybe on the last offensive sequence by Ardmore, and here we see a nice pass across there by Robert Meacham going into Seals and getting fouled on the layup. That's a good assist, or attempted assist, if he got it down on the part of Meacham. But it looked like maybe Ardmore Don was getting in just to a little bit of offensive cautiousness. Now, if they become too cautious down there, that's not what Coach Jason Turk wants.
With the game on the line earlier in the year against Jinx in the Jinx Tournament Championship, Seals hit a couple of free throws with 9 seconds left. He hits a couple of big ones here early 4th quarter. And he's got 14 points, and the Hornets have climbed back to within 1. Godwin out front to Swindoll in the corner for Brown. Wow. Lionel Brown with 5 threes in the game. He had a key 3-pointer in the semifinal win yesterday against McAllister. Harris drawing the foul in the paint.
Well, when Lionel Brown hit that one, that really was a big basket for Ardmore. They needed one to have a little cushion in there. A great penetration and drive by Levi Harris drawing the foul. The defense that time was just a little bit better, I think, on the part of Washington. It was full court, actually three-quarter court. They tried to trap it. They didn't break it down quite as good, Ardmore didn't, as they had in the past, but nevertheless got the good shot on the line of ground.
Levi Harris, 31 points in the state championship game last season in overtime over Ada. Harris hits them both. He's got 15 today after a season-low 9 yesterday, and Harris gets called for the backcourt foul, his second. By the way, the foul, previous foul, was on Ardmore's Lionel Brown, his fourth. So we see the foul here.
Yeah, that was a good call by the official. Levi Harris really wasn't established. You've got to get out in front and get those feet planted.
6 minutes left. Who's going to own the gold ball in a few minutes? Ardmore or Washington? Ardmore has led throughout the second half. That one is blocked by Ardmore, and Washington will come the other way. In the second quarter alone, we had 11 lead changes. In the game, we have had 3 ties, 13 lead changes. Ardmore has led throughout the second half. Their biggest lead has been 7 points in the second half. It's now at 2. And now time. Mark Brown working inside, and the Hornets, JB, starting to get some points around the basket.
They were taking it on the low block that time, and a good spin move by Mark Brown.
And look at the hustle by Cheney. Harris gives the Hornets the lead with 6 straight points and a timeout, Ardmore.
Well, you see just a tremendous play in there by Cheney. Got the long arms, reached around, got the ball on the floor, kicked it off to his teammate in there, Levi Harris, who makes an easy layup. And that's the kind of play that really can generate some energy and enthusiasm for the Hornets.
We told you about Ardmore winning their tournament, the holiday tournament, and winning the Norman Invitational. Some coaches felt that might have been the best tournament of the year when 6 of the 8 teams in that tournament were state ranked. Well, Washington this year in the Tournament of Champions at Oral Roberts beat Union, who is in the state title game tonight, and then beat Broken Arrow in overtime for the Tournament of Champions title. Then they went to the 28th annual Jinx Invitational, beating a pretty good Edmond Memorial Bulldog team. Then they beat Broken Arrow again in the semifinals before beating Jinx in the tournament finals.
Well, both these teams have had the schedule, not only in tournament play, but in regular season, to prepare them for the game tonight.
Coming up, 6A Girls Championship after this one, a rematch from 2 years ago, Westmore and Jinx. Let's go over to the sideline, see what we got, and we'll start with Steve.
Thanks a lot, Don. Jason Turk told those guys, hey, if they were to tell you any other year, any other game, 5:22 left, and you're down by 2 to play for the state championship, would you want to take it? They all agreed. They said, let's go get them. Over to Matt Clark.
Hey, guys. Hey, Coach Harris said, hey, let's keep the pressure on, but wherever Ryan Godwin is, make sure that we have somebody on him, because that's the guy that they're really worried about. Back to you.
Thank you, guys. Mick Cornett, part of our crew, not with us today, but I'm sure he is tuned in. And watching these state championship games, three-pointer won't go. And Cheney with the rebound, and they'll call a foul underneath the basket on Ardmore as Wallace Kemp was caught reaching in. That's his 4th personal.
You think Quentin Cheney's not displaying some of his quarterback ability on the rebound and how he's pegging the ball down the floor?
Actually, I beg your pardon, that's the 15th foul on Wallace Kemp. So he fouls out of the game for Ardmore. There's his 5th personal. And Wallace Kemp, at only 6 foot, plays a lot inside, finishes with 13 points. Sophomore Roy Roberts, number 25, checks in. That's a big loss for Ardmore. And the 10th team foul on Ardmore, and that sends now Booker T to the double bonus with 4:58 remaining in the game. Washington with only 5 team fouls. So the Hornets have an advantage here from the free throw line in the final 5 minutes of the game. Cheney at the line. Look at those numbers. A double-double in the state championship game, and keep in mind he's only a sophomore.
6'8" sophomore, and he has the skills of an outside person. Also can play with his back to the basket. Great future for Quentin Cheney.
And you saw his defensive effort out at half court that really started, or at least continued this run. which now is an 8th straight for Washington.
Coach Harris,
the technical called on Nate Harris. Butch Fisher, actually the assistant for Nate, is going to be teed up here, arguing the call. My goodness.
A technical foul has been called on the Booker T. Washington bench.
Mark this one down with the Hornets leading by 4.
Well, there was a scramble for the ball on the far side, and it looked like to the Washington coaches that it went off of an Ardmore player. The official said it did not. Coach Fisher gets up, and there's one thing, assistant coach can't do much. The head coach can do a lot, but assistant coach, he makes a little noise over there, he stops his foot, and boom, they get it. Really, it's not fair, but that's the way it is.
Lionel Brown at the line to bury the first free throw. Best free throw shooter on the team, and he's 2 of 4 in this contest. He has a game-high 23, 24 points.
Always interesting to follow what happens following a technical foul. Many times that just inspires your team. Sometimes it lets the wind out of their sails. So we'll see here what happened with the Hornets. They were on a nice roll there before the tee.
Jason Turk coming over to Ardmore in his first year after 3 years in Enid, and a turnover. The Washington defense has forced the turnover as Ardmore was unable to inbound the pass after the technical. They did get the 2 free throws. And now it's Washington having a tough time, but Meacham comes away with it. Blocking foul at half court. Meacham, who has struggled a bit from the line this year, will go to the strike for 2 after the foul call on Swindoll.
Good call there, block behind the back dribble on the part of Meacham to get around, and he draws the foul in there. But, I was talking about if it inspires a team. Well, I think maybe it did, because that was a great 5 seconds of defense to prevent the ball from coming in by Ardmore, creating the turnover, because that technical foul could have led to a 4-point play.
Right.
4 or 5 point maybe.
Washington has shot the ball very well from the line today, except for Meacham, who has missed his only 2. He's their leading rebounder on the year. And again, he is certainly going to be maybe the best college prospect next season in football. Almost a steal there. Washington with a 3-point lead, and double or walking called as the Hornets again force another turnover. Boy, they have turned up the pressure.
They have really picked up some quickness here, and it's J.C. Seals that comes right at the Ardmore player there, Lionel Brown, that forced the traveling violation.
Meacham and Harris, along with Seals. Nate Harris would love to have these 3 touch the ball a lot in the final 4:35. Cheney's been nails inside in the 4th quarter.
That looks like that Washington is becoming a little more patient offensively with the basketball.
Harris couldn't buy it off the glass. Ardmore's on the run. Trying to get it to Swindoll. Can't do it, so out it goes to Anderson. And a great steal. What an anticipation. Tip wouldn't go. Brown got the steal, fed Meacham. Meacham couldn't buy the basket, and Ardmore's back. And they've got the number advantage. And Godwin burns the 3-pointer. His 58th of the year. He's got 17 in the game. And we're tied at 70.
Well, Coach Harris said to find out where he was and stay with him, but that time they didn't. It cost him 3.
The first of 4 state championship games from Stillwater. Cheney has to fight for it, bounces it off. Godwin out of bounds. What an athletic play that was by the sophomore Quentin Cheney.
Don, you look at the score, you look at the time, you look at the effort right here on the replay. Number 1 against number 2. It just can't get any better than this.
Number 1, you're right, Washington. 38 in a row dating back to last year. Ardmore has won 22 in a row this season. That's short. Cheney gets fouled and goes to the line for 2 more, and he is owned to the boards. He's chairman of the boards in the second half.
He really has come in, and here, he gets blocked from underneath, gets pushed there a little bit, but he still had the presence to try to get the ball back up on the glass to try to get him a 3-point shot. Great second half for Cheney.
Cheney 7 of 8 from the line in the game. Sorry, Quentin, I jinxed you. He'll try to break the tie with this free throw. Interesting that you look at Washington's 12 state titles, 9 under Nate Harris. And J.B. Booker T. Washington is one of the larger 5A schools, so they have bounced between being one of the larger 5A, and yet when they're in 6A, one of the smallest, if not the smallest 6A school, they continue to win state championships.
Well, that's what coaches around the state talk about. It doesn't make any difference what class they're in. They always compete, and they win state championships, and many times they could be classified maybe as the best team in the state.
Ardmore winning state titles in 93, 94, both against Tulsa McLean. You knew who the head coach was back then? Ted Younce.
Ted Younce, right.
Seals out front after the block. 3 minutes to go. Washington with the ball in a 1-point advantage. Harris flashes to the glass and draws the foul.
Here you see just a great move, great penetration, body control. Wasn't able to get it down, but Levi Harris, this is where he normally shines. Even though he's having a little problems with free throws, he normally does better when it gets right down to the wire.
The Hornets are having the same trouble Broken Arrow did at the same end yesterday in the semifinal loss to Putnam City. Broken Arrow had an 8-point lead in the final minute and a half, but only hit 5 of their last 10 free throws, and Washington is having that same trouble. But lead by 2 with 2:52 to go, and Harris has collected his 18th point of the day.
Washington's going to continue to push.
Are you surprised by that?
No, I think once you get into a kind of a mode and get into the rhythm, I don't think you should break it, because that tempo will swing the other way.
Ardmore, the 15th largest community in the state in southern Oklahoma. Of course, just miles from the Texas border. And they will be celebrating at Lake Murray if they pull this one off. And the basket ties the game.
That's a great shot in there by Roy Roberts. Only a sophomore, but he had ice water in his veins that time when he put it in.
First shot, I think, in the game. And the sophomore you see there ties the game at 72.
But that's good basketball teams. Players will come off the bench and they will perform. They'll produce for you.
An Ardmore team that started the season ranked number 5. Now number 2. Washington's been number 1 throughout the season, and Harris goes to the line for 2 more. Lionel Brown, I think that's his 5th. He thought he had the block. Let's take a look. You make the call.
And you can see the glide coming in. I think from that angle, he might have had a pretty good argument, didn't he? Looks like he at least had one hand on the ball.
Matt Clark got a pretty good look at it. He agrees with us, huh? Lionel Brown checks out a game-high 24 points. He's just a junior, well above his 14-point average. So Ardmore has lost 2 players, Wallace Kemp with 13 and Lionel Brown with 24. They both disqualified with 5 personal fouls, and Levi Harris, he only hit 1 of 2 free throws a moment ago, to the line.
This is where Levi Harris has really stood out throughout the season, throughout his career. Has been able to produce at the end of the game. He's having trouble with the free throw line. We'll see what he does here in the last 2 minutes of the game.
44, you saw sophomore Rodney Fuller into the game. The numbers on Harris. For the 15th time, he's at 20 points plus. Season high 34 earlier this year. Washington has hit 4 of their last 7, now 5 of their last 8 free throws. And they own a 2-point advantage with 2:10 to go. Roberts beating Fuller inside, and Meacham with the steal. Hornets 3-on-2 advantage. Well, that takes a little courage to make that kind of pass this late in the game.
That's confidence, Don. When you feel like you can make a play, some people may criticize a play like that, but he was confident he could make it, and he actually did make it. But yes, that's frightening.
More frightening if you're the coach. Harris, trouble with it, needs a timeout, doesn't get it. Ardmore with the quick hands gets the steal. Roberts off to Fuller. Here comes Ardmore to try to tie the game with 1:35 to go. They had so many three-pointers in the first half, not many in the second. And Ryan Godwin has the deuce to tie the game for the 7th time.
And you talk about a gamer. Ryan Godwin's a gamer, isn't he?
He is indeed. He has shown us something today. The senior point guard for Ardmore with 19 points. Does Washington melt the clock and work for the final shot, or did they just try to get something? Instead, the turnover. No foul called. Ardmore wanted the foul. Kemp, nice feed back on the give and go, and they'll go to the line for a couple. Ryan Godwin, and the nice pass off the free throw line, not from Kemp, but from Swindoll.
And you talk about grit. The team from Ardmore has the grit. Nice penetration in there. Great body control. Washington wanting a traveling violation, but Ryan Godwin will go to the line, and you talk about pressure. It's on him right now.
Nothing but net.
What pressure?
He had a big three-pointer yesterday with 39 seconds left to give Ardmore the lead they would not relinquish against McAllister. Tigers by 1. Godwin keeps it at 1 as Cheney gets the rebound, his 12th of the game. Harris inside, and a blocking foul called with 43 seconds remaining.
Game of free throws in the last minute. Nice crossover with his left hand. 23 trying to, Antonio Williamson trying to square up, but couldn't quite get there in time. Getting the blocking foul, and now the pressure goes to the Washington Hornets.
Ardmore with 2 starters out, fouling out of the game. Harris has the free throw to tie the game for the 8th time.
And once again, you notice that the Washington Hornets does not put anyone on the line. They bring 4 of them back. That's confidence in the shooter, I think.
Would agree with you. And now the lead back to Washington. 33 seconds remaining, a 1-point game. Yes, give it to him for 2. Ryan Godwin works the basket, and Ardmore has the lead. We're down to 20 seconds, and it's all come down to the final seconds for the state championship. And Meacham with the circus shot.
You just can't see any better clutch basketball than what we're seeing right here in Gallagher Arena. Great move in there by Meacham. Body control, took the lick, was able to get it up and drop it in. And what can you say about Ryan Godwin on the other end for Ardmore? It's just breathless the way that they come through here in the last 2 minutes of play.
Meacham, who had struggled 1 of 3 from the line, buries the free throw. Washington by 2. Down to 10 seconds. Ardmore with 1 timeout remaining, and Jason Turk will take it right here.
Well, I think you'd have to agree that they would try to work the ball and get a good look at the basket from Ryan Godwin, maybe from the 3-point line. And that's a gamble that Coach Jason Turk will have to determine. Do you want to take the 3 and go for the win? Or do you want to take the 2 and go for the tie in the overtime? You've got 2 players off on fouled out of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to set it up and let Godwin go for the win from 3-point.
All right, Steve Marshall, what do you think?
Well, looks like we're going to have a little motion try to get to the right side, and then set a back screen to set it up over on your side of the floor, guys, and that's the way they've got it drawn up. Exciting finish. Matt Clark, what do you see?
Hey, I think everybody in this gym knows who's going to get the ball. Coach Harris said, look, you got him here. Hey, you come jump at him, so we're going to see if Godwin's going to put him in overtime and possibly win the game. Back to you guys.
Down to 10 seconds. 38-game winning streak, covering 2 seasons on the line for Washington. Out of bounds, knocked out by Seals. No time off the clock.
And that's a battle between J.C. Seals and Ryan Godwin.
There it is, Swindoll. No, it's blocked, but a foul's going to be called inside with 7 seconds. Kirk Schultz makes the call, and Swindoll hit the floor hard. The foul by Cheney. Yep, he got it.
Yeah, body contact in there. Just a great drive in there, though, by Swindoll. And again, pressure. The last quarter has just been a pressure cooker for both teams.
Swindoll with a career-high 32 points, the match's uniform number in the state tournament opening round game against Tulsa East Central. And Tulsa, Washington coach Nate Harris calls his first timeout of the game.
And he wants a full timeout here. He's trying to freeze, of course, the free throw shooter, at the same time get his crew together to find out exactly what he wants them to do in the last 8 seconds.
17 lead changes in this game with 8 ties, and I would imagine the next one will be just as frantic. Westmore, number 1 in the state in 6A girls, trying to get back to the state championship as Jinx has taken it away from them, and the Lady Trojans are looking for their 3rd straight under Darlene Caleb and Mark Cyrus. Westmore and Jinx coming up next, an exclusive of Cox Communications. Let's go over to Steve.
Jason Turk is just beautiful to watch. He said, here's how it's going to be, guys. We're going to make the 2 free throws. Then we're going to steal the inbound pass, score again, and this place is going to go crazy.
We'll see if he's a prophet. What about you, Matt?
Coach Harris is basically saying, look, they're going to miss the free throw. We're going to block out. We're going to get the rebound. But if they do score, we're going to go in. We're going to pass it, get the ball in, spread the ball out, be tough with the basketball, and let's get the ball down the floor. And remember, we still got 3 timeouts. Back to you, Doc.
Keep in mind, Washington had to go overtime to win the state championship last season against Ada. Swindoll would like nothing better than to send his Ardmore teammates to a 4-minute overtime session. And again, Washington calls another timeout. This will be a 30.
Well, you know, it's always interesting how positive the coaches are. And what Steve said that Jason Turk was talking about, never if we miss it. No, you're going to hit them, and then this is going to happen. And, of course, on the other end, Nate Harris doing the same thing. That's great coaching, and that's why they're in the state finals, Don.
Coming up tonight, 2 more state championship games. The Lady Boomers of Woodward defend their state championship against Ardmore. How about that for Ardmore? We haven't even talked about that. Having a school that has state championships on the line tonight for both boys and girls. And then the 6A boys championship, number 1 Putnam City against number 2 Union. Boy, the papers were pretty much right on when it came to picking the teams this year. Very impressive by Mike Strain of the Daily Oklahoman, Lynn Jacobson, John Ferguson of the Tulsa World. Well, here we go. 7 seconds left. Swindoll needs them both. Boy. He's hit both of his free throws today.
And you can tell by the look in his eyes that he really has that positive approach to it.
Player loves this, don't they?
Oh, yes.
This is what it's all about. Cheney with another rebound and the foul with 6 seconds remaining. So Washington leading by 1, but they've got to hit a free throw or 2. Otherwise, 6 seconds remaining, Ardmore has a chance to go the length of the floor and still win it. This was a very similar situation yesterday in the 6A state semifinal between Broken Arrow and Putnam. Broken Arrow had a 2-point lead, missed the free throw. Putnam came back, got a layup at the buzzer to send it to overtime. They ended up winning. Even if Cheney makes both of these free throws, Ardmore could hit a 3 at the buzzer and send it into overtime.
And with a shooter like Ryan Godwin, that's a very, very good possibility. So the 2 shots here, very important.
Cheney's numbers, 14, now 15 points with 14 rebounds, JB, and 9 of 11 from the line. I didn't know he was this good a free throw shooter, but he has been velvet. And he'll try to make the string sing, and he does. So a 3-pointer in the final 5 seconds would give Ardmore a tie. Stolen by Meacham. That'll do it. Washington wins another state championship. Nobody has now won more state championships in Oklahoma as a head coach than Nate Harris. He has 10 to his credit.
And those pictures really says it all, Don. The excitement of winning the gold ball, and a look at Nate Harris there, and he's being congratulated. 10 state championships in 20 years, never going without coming to the state tournament. Remarkable record.
He had quite a drought from 88 to 94. He stayed with it, still produced some great basketball players, some great talent at Booker T. Washington. And then they finally got it going in 95. And since 95, they now have won 6 state titles. A run of 3 straight, 95, 96, 97, 1 in 99, and then now back-to-back state championships for Nate in 2001 and 2002. Well, you look at the players that he has produced, the Ryan Humphreys, Eton Thomases, R.W. McCorders, B.J. Tiger, Marcus Hill, Antonio Reed, go on, and Levi Harris, Robert Meacham, and others have now contributed in a nice show of sportsmanship for Coach Harris.
Well, that's one of the saddest days of a young man's life is when he gets beat in the state finals, and Coach Harris certainly showing his sportsmanship by going down and congratulating the entire Ardmore team. But, you know, at that point in time, the runner-up trophy, the runner-up medals just doesn't mean very much to you.
You act as if you know what you're talking about there.
I've been there and I've done that. And later on, yes, you can brag about it. It's not bad being number 2 in the state. But at the point in time when you feel like that you could have won it, and certainly Coach Jason Turk and the Ardmore Tigers could feel that they could have won this one.
And you see the disappointment on Coach Turk's face. I don't think it's necessarily disappointment for him as much as it is for his players, right?
Oh, that's true. You really have feeling, and especially those seniors that have paid the price for you for so many years, and then you get right here and it gets in your hands and it gets away, and you can't point your finger at anyone. You can't say it was the referees. You can't say if we did this, if we did that. Hey, the chips just kind of fall that way. I thought the Tigers played a great game. I thought they had a great game plan. I thought they executed well. I thought they gave Washington more problems, full court pressure, and picking their pressure apart as any team we've ever seen play Washington.
Ryan Godwin was money for Ardmore and led them, one of the guys that lead them. Lionel Brown fouled out with 24, Godwin with 22, 16 for Swindoll, and 13 for Wallace Kent. When you look at this Ardmore team, again, they had their biggest lead in the first half at 8 points, led by 3 at halftime, and had 7 3-pointers in the first half. But it could only manage 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. And to me, not that they missed a lot of 3-point shots. They didn't get a lot of 3-point opportunities in the second half.
Well, there were periods in the second half when I thought Washington really stepped up their defense and became much more aggressive and much more aware of where the shooters were, maybe than they were in the first half. And that can certainly cut down on the shooting percentage. But overall, Don, this was just as good a state 5A championship game as anyone could ever want to watch. And offensively, when you get 81 and 78 points scored and it goes to the last shot, you can't get any better.
Sure can't. Leading scorers for Washington today, Levi Harris with 23. And what a way to close out an esteemed career. No relation to Nate. Levi Harris last year in the overtime state championship win had 31 points. Today, he had 23 points, including some free throws down the stretch. And Quentin Chaney also leading Washington. Harris with 23, Chaney 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 14 points for Mark Brown, and 14 for J.C. Seals, 15 for Robert Meacham.
Well, you go up and down the line on Washington, and if you want to try to pick out an MVP, as far as they were concerned, you know, Levi Harris always has a great game. He's just a marvelous player to begin with. J.C. Seals was super today, but Quentin Chaney, I think, came in and gave them the strength that they needed off the board. A couple of times he was able to get the rebound and make a quarterback-type pass to a player getting the back door on a fast break. And, you know, he really was, I think, the big difference down in, especially in the fourth quarter.
Jason Turk, what a job he has done. Again, growing up in Collinsville, coming to Stillwater, And in his first year, he's guided Ardmore as state runners-up.
And you know his coach was at Stillwater, don't you? John Phillips.
John Phillips.
Yes, the head coach at the University of Tulsa.
Jason was quite a player in the Frontier Conference out of Stillwater. And